Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Kim Explains on how the deputy presidential debate went. And allow me to say that Kenyans are disappointed, including myself. I'm very disappointed to realize what kind of the media we have and the selection of the panel and the questions that were directed to the interviewed, the deputy president's hopeful. And to start with, let me say that the interviewing panel was both unqualified and incompetent, if qualified at any cost. To start with the first team that interviewed Mosheru of Agano Party and the Roots Party's Justin. The first team failed to capture the most important details of that interview in relation to when I'm saying the most important details, it was an interview for the deputy presidents, hopeful deputy presidents, and the key objectives on what we were waiting for is that we were waiting to hear whether either the deputy presidents or the deputy presidential candidates understood well the manifestos of their masters and what they had to offer for Kenyans. What happened? In the first round of the interview, where we had the running mate for Jakoya and the running mate for Mwaure, the interviewers focused more on one of the candidates, Wajakoya. They focused on what Wajakoya was offering in his manifesto, and even changed or converted the other interviewed, the running mate for Mwaure, into interviewing the running mate for Wajakoya. So they were speaking more about the weed, the snake, and these other things that Wajakoya is presenting, and forgot that Mwaure had also a manifesto to present. That is not the fault of the interviewed. It is the fault of the interviewer. We had a very incompetent pair of interviewers, and that was very shameful. Mr. Gashuri, you disappointed a lot of Kenyans who trusted that you could deliver a better interview. That was poorly done. Out of 10, I give you 0.5. That was a lot of nonsense. We go to the next interview between Rigathi Gachagua and Martha Karua, and that was again in a complete disappointment. How comes the whole interview was dominated by the question of corruption just because the opponent of Rigathi Gachagua, the opponents of Raila Odinga, have been able to frame William Ruto as the most corrupt or the holder of the corrupt individuals in the coalitions? That was the idea you were trying to put up. You forgot that other than corruption, we have other issues that the governments should focus on. But you chose to focus on corruption so that to make Rigathi weak or to make him look inferior in that interview. But however, he beat you. In this case, the most disappointed people is Martha Karua and Raila Odinga and Mwaure, because this is more of discussing about the next government. And people tend to believe that you have to get more about the government that is most possibly coming. In the first interview, the man who came up uniquely is Wajakoya. We discussed more of Wajakoya than Mwaure. So if we say that the winners, the first two, to go in another debate and see who would win as number one, we would take Wajakoya in the first round, and in the second round we spoke more about what the weaknesses and the strengths in Kenya Kwanza, in UDA, in William Ruto's camp. So we would take William Ruto. So in this case, Raila Odinga and Mwaure are facing the same charge of not being competent in the presidency, because after all, you have nothing to present. For the first case, apart from Mwaure wanting to take Wajakoya out because of the Bangi factor, what else do you have? You failed to tell Kenyans what you have. Then in the second instance, apart from Raila Odinga wanted to take out or to compete out William Ruto, what else do you have for Kenyans? Apart from talking about corruption and how Ruto's men are corrupt, what else do you have for Kenyans? So that's clear that you are beaten pants down. So the two men to look up into, if this debate was anything to go by, is William Ruto and George Wajakoya. Those are the two horses I know. All the others are failed government projects, because your running mates have shown that in this case. So if anything, if anybody is to rely on that interview and speak about the results and relate this into the outcome of the next general election, then Raila Odinga will be out, Mwaure will be out. Number 1 is Wajakoya. Number 2 is William Ruto. That case is closed. That is the full discussion of the outcome of that interview. Anyway, I would like to hear your opinion in the comment section and know what you feel about it. What's your opinion? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kim, and that is my take.